If you've ever wanted more than one operating system to boot onto, then I'm going to show you how to do that in this tutorial. So to follow along with this tutorial, you're going to need a Windows PC, 2 USB sticks, and Rufus, which the tool will download later, and an ISO image, which will also download later. These USB sticks are both 64 gigabytes. I have a pretty slow one here and a fast one. I bought them separately, but I recommend just getting a twin pack because that's usually cheaper, and you can usually get 64 gigs of storage on a USB 3.0 device for around 15 to 20 pounds, so it's not too bad. Once you've got your USBs, just head over to the internet, type in Rufus, and we'll want to click the first link here. And if we read, Rufus is a tool that just allows you to create bootable USB drives. So this is the tool we're going to use to create our USB to be bootable. What we're interested in is the portable version. The standard version works, but it means that you're going to have to run Rufus on the device itself, on the Windows computer itself. But the portable version allows us to execute this program without having to install it on the computer, and that's useful just because it means that we can use any Windows PC rather than our own one to use this tool, which is pretty much the main point of the entire tutorial. So make sure you download the portable version. Now that we've downloaded Rufus, all we need is an ISO image to download. This can be any ISO image, but I'm going to be using Ubuntu just to keep things simple. But if you follow along with this, it will be the same no matter what ISO you're using. So just type in Ubuntu ISO or Debian ISO, whatever operating system you want to download. Just stick ISO on the end. Click on the first link for Ubuntu, and then we can just start the download. So once you've downloaded the ISO and Rufus, you can just transfer the files over into your USB stick, and you can see that's what we've been doing here. So just give it some time, depending on how large the ISO is. It can take a while, but it's only a one-time thing, so give it some time, make a coffee, and come back to it in around 10 minutes. Once the files are finished transferring, what you can do is just open up Rufus, just double click it. We can just click no to this, just asking if we want to check updates. Okay, so we have Rufus here now. You can see it's automatically selected my other USB device. I'll just show you what that looks like. Just head over to this PC. So it's a bit confusing, but so ignore these ones. These are my internal drives. These two are different partitions, but they just represent my USB drive, which store the ISO images, which is this here, this one, and this 64 USB is this is the one that I want to flash the ISO onto. You can see G is selected, drive letter G there, so that's definitely the one. So next you just need to add the ISO image, so just press select, find where your ISO image is. This is where my one is, and then just open it, and you'll see it's been added, and it's got some default options here, and you can just leave all these default. If it says ready, then it's ready to go, and you can just press start. Yeah, we want to write an ISO image mode, and just click yes to this as well. Yes, we want to destroy all the data on the target drive. Click OK on that. And it will format it. See the process here. Copy the ISO files and prepare the drive for you. If you're interested specifically about my own setup, what I have a large USB, which is fairly slow, but that's going to be storing all the ISOs on it. So as the ISOs are large and aren't going to be actively read and written to that often, it means that you can invest more money into the storage capacity rather than the speed. And the opposite is true for the USB that you're going to boot into. So the USB you're booting into is going to be written and wrote to a lot more often. However, you're only going to be having one ISO on it at a time, or it's only going to be used for one operating system to install onto it at any one time, so you don't need as much storage. So that's sort of how I balance the price between the two, but it doesn't really matter as long as you have 64 gigs and USB 3.0. As said, that will work fine. If you're interested in using other operating systems with this type of setup, then just let me know and I'll make a tutorial for that too. Finally, we can actually upgrade this a bit. So at the moment, the problem with this setup is that it requires a Windows computer if you want to reflash your bootable media, and that's not ideal because you actually need access to that computer. So the way to fix that is you can use an operating system such as Tails, and basically what that allows you to do is boot an operating system straight from a USB device rather than having to log on to someone else's computer or to some other remote computer. So what that's going to allow you to do is basically plug in that Tails USB and just use that operating system and reflash your other bootable media that you want to reflash. If you want some help or if you want a tutorial on that too, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know. Any other questions? Again, let me know. Thanks.